Do I need a lot of money? What should I do about zoning and permits? Two of the biggest questions I get asked from my students, YouTube comments, and DMs are around two key topics, money and zoning. Well, without even planning for it, an opportunity fell into my lap that answers both those questions beautifully. As a regular viewer, you know my plate is completely full of projects in the live program that I got coming out this month, but this deal was just too good to pass up. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make gobs of money off of this deal, but it is going to be a very good source of mailbox money after a little bit of legwork. But why I wanted to share it with you is because it's a great creative example of how to secure a piece of property with no money out of pocket and the potential of making a lot of money in the future through cash flows. And it's going to be a lot of fun too. That is if you like working with your hands, getting dirty, and of course, making money. So at the time of this video, we're currently negotiating a contract to gain access to a 267-acre farm. But it's not in the way that you may be thinking. Let me rewind a bit and tell you how I came across this nice little gem. So one day about 2.5 weeks ago, I'm driving to pick up some custom metal brackets for the shipping container deck when my phone rings and I see an old friend's name pop up. It's my friend, who we'll call Brendan, and says, "Hey, I came across some land that we don't know what to do with. We saw your video on hacking land and thought you would want to come take a look at it and tell us what you think." So the conversation obviously takes a little bit more time than that, but we go over some of the finer details like the owner, the location, what the site looks like, and what they were thinking. So jumping into research mode, I pulled up the location on the map and I liked what I saw. It was along a body of water and it was only about 25 to 30 minutes away from me, and it was on some very big acreage. It also happened to fall into a county that I was very familiar with, but it wasn't all good news. One that almost stopped the entire deal straight in its tracks, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Okay, we're back in the present time-ish, since this is still the past from when you're watching this. So I know what a lot of you are thinking. Oh man, you're so lucky to have someone call you with an opportunity like that. If I just had one friend that I could do the same thing, I would make a ton of money too. Well, hang on a second. The only reason why deals like this come is because of a YouTube channel that I've been working on for 3 years and well over a decade of experience dealing with real estate and land hacking. But what really helped me was that I knew the area super well because everything I've been teaching in my videos I have actually been actively doing in my area or areas of interest. And just so happens this property was in my area of interest. And actually Brendan had originally came to me with several other properties in many different areas, but I wasn't interested in because it fell outside of my area of expertise and were way outside of the golden triangles. So it's not so much of just having a deal just plopping down on your lap. In all honesty, I get hit up all the time from people wanting to partner up or have project deals they want to pitch to me. This is literally my inbox on Instagram of people proposing deals to me. But it's more about being prepared and in a place to recognize the deal and then pursue and then execute. Okay, so that makes sense for me, but you may not have the decade of experience and capital. What do you do? The best thing that I can advise anyone who's starting off is to focus on your financial markers: an income source, credit score, no debt, and cash reserves. Unless you're already well off or have a ton of family money, we all have to get up and start at the same starting line, and this is it. Once you have that, begin the research process that I've talked about: golden triangles, analyzing structures, recognizing what is fair market rate, and then understanding how to run the numbers. By the way, all of which I have videos on my channel, so feel free to subscribe or not forcing you, but liking and subscribing is free, just saying. Now, when you have the financial markers and you understand the market, deals will just become inevitable, whether it comes to you, like in my case here, or you seek it out, or you even create it. But when you don't have the financial markers in place, when that deal does come hopping out in front of you, you have to just let it pass you on by, or even worse, you don't even recognize that it's a good deal. So if you're having trouble finding a place to start, that's where I started, and that's where I would strongly suggest that you start as well. Okay, one more rewind to when we actually walked the property. So we drove out to the property and met with the farmer and landowner to get a lay of the land, and it was gorgeous. Not only was it an actual beautiful drive with an amazing territorial and mountain views, but plot twist, it has an existing wedding venue on site with full commercial permitting. Now, I talk in way more in depth about this in my program, but because this is an operational farm in my area, it's easier to get conditional use permits for venues and campgrounds, which we're targeting. So basically 90% of the legwork on the county side is already done for us. Now, if you don't know, venue hacking is perhaps one of the highest forms of land hacking. And if you wonder why, it's because wedding venues can legit generate multiple 5 to 6 figure revenues per month. But why I really love it is because it gives us access to the right permits for our hack, and it guarantees us 100% booked out nights at premium pricing whenever there's an event or wedding. Huge bonus and very, very, very nice when we run the numbers. So when I got back home from the tour, I pulled up my back of the napkin or back of the envelope spreadsheet to run some quick numbers. By the way, you can totally download this for free on my website, kaiandrew.com. Go get it, play with it, it's fun, it's free. Now I start by adjusting occupancy rate by month. Now I know this area really well, so I have a good gauge of rates and occupancy rates, but I always double check everything with AIRDNA and Airbnb. But this site is not like the others. It has an event venue and will be building a destination area for folks wanting to escape the city. Now, this is not what I call a passive rental space, where you just set up a listing and hope people coming to the area will book. Our listings here will be very much active, attracting and drawing in guests. Slight difference in wording, very different strategy. So after looking through AirDNA and Airbnb and putting my projected numbers into my spreadsheet, I see this number here. That's for one door. So one door, and I'll give you a hint on what kind of structure I'll be using here later, generates a livable income. And realistically, I believe this site could handle 4 to 5 structures without cannibalizing itself. So let's say that we were even to go with $40,000 gross annual profits per site. We're looking at a total of between 160 to 200K if we do 4 to 5 modest sites. But you all know how I roll. I've got some of that good brewing right up here to make sure that this whole area is special, and potentially we'll be adding more. I don't know about you and your financial standing, but $15,000 to $20,000 and potentially more in monthly mailbox money and is still pretty dang good to me. And also, let's be honest, it's great YouTube content. So now I'm getting paid to make even better YouTube videos, which funnels more people to the channel, and then I can go out and get more property, and the cycle repeats into perpetuity. Okay, now that you have seen how I run the back of the envelope numbers, let's get back to the land tour. But I think you'd be way more interested in why this is a good deal and how we set it up rather than just looking at the land. So here's the rest of our tour super fast. So we walk down to the river and look at the different potential sites. There's swimming, there's a fishing hole, awesome. We then go to another secluded site that already has a trail carved in and a view, triple, quadruple awesome. So that's pretty much it. We're good to go. Let's sign, let's wrap up this puppy. That's what I was thinking until our farmer friend comes up and says,
"Oh yeah, this whole area floods about 5 months out of the year."
What?
Yeah, when the rain comes, this place will all be under several feet of water. Just FYI.
What are we even doing here? Now at this point, we're trying to salvage the deal and thinking about trailers that we could pull in and out of the sites based on seasons before the floods come, but there are no real roads to get back here and it is a lot of trees. So let's just say that this was less than ideal news. So we head back towards the main house to regroup and think. And as we head back and walk around, our farmer friend mentions that there may be another potential site just about 100 meters from the wedding venue, but the road is completely overgrown with brush, like 10 feet high and thick, or 3.3 meters for the rest of the world. We didn't want to start hacking with machetes through a football field of blackberry bushes just to see a potential site, but my persistent friend and partner asked the farmer to grab the tractor and mow down the path, which he surprisingly and gladly accepted. Who knew? So we start making our way down, and at the bottom, this is what we find. A freaking 4 to 5 acre pond with acres of flat ground and views of the entire farm and mountain. Oh yeah, close enough to the utilities, completely out of sight and earshot of all the other operations happening on the property, and access to the trails that leads down to the river. Lesson here, boys and girls, ask for what you want. I was honestly 5 minutes away from walking away from this little gem. So it seems like we're the real winners that stumbled across this great piece of property and deal. Not exactly. I mean, I'll take it, don't get me wrong. But the real genius entrepreneur is the farmer and the owner. Aside from the 200 plus acres of profitable farmland, the wedding venue, and he actually has a cannery business on site, he now just got a small group of guys to build and run a glamping site for him. Usually I'm trying to educate you to be more like the farmer, but this isn't a bad seat at the table either, especially when you're first beginning and you don't have a ton of money. So there are multiple ways of finding land just like this. Do it long enough and you create connections, relationships, be kind to people, and produce results, and you'll be surprised at how often deals like this pop up. Honestly, that's how I find and get most of my deals and money these days. But okay, let's get into the real ways for starters. First one, Zillow, LandWatch, Redfin, and land agents are all the most basic ways to see what's on the market and to find existing deals. You can also put up an ad that you're searching for vacant land with a certain type of zoning on Craigslist, Facebook, and even the Nextdoor app. Or you can use this new app that I just started using called Batch Leads. Think of Zillow, but on horse steroids. I'm not sure if that's a real thing. But it allows you to search every parcel of land that's on and off the MLS, as well as sort by zoning and land type. This app was designed for real estate wholesalers, but I found it actually works really well in our favor to find properties in areas of interest. And a huge bonus is that it actually tells me who the owner is, their financial situation, and their contact information. Meaning you can actually send a mailer or text directly to these owners with an offer. Let me know if that's a whole process or interest that you want me to make a video on, and I'll do it. I also have a referral link just down below if you want to use it. You can choose either a free 7-day trial or 50% off the first month of any subscription. I'm still new to the app, so I'm gonna preface that. So I'm still learning, but I can already tell that this is a super overpowered tool that I wish I had known before. Okay, so now that you know how to search around for land, how in the world did we craft this deal where it's $0 out of pocket? Simple. We set up a win-win situation between us and the farmer. Instead of doing a traditional lease where we pay the landowner a certain amount per month per acre, we offered a revenue split where we take care of all the work. The farmer even offered to help put in the road, utilities, and clear the area for us below with the heavy equipment he already has access to, because in reality, it does build him a ton of equity. Smart on his part. End of the day, the farmer doesn't create any more work for himself and just generated another income stream, and we get to do what we do best and make a decent profit as well. Now, it just so happens we're experienced builders, so we also will be saving a ton of money just in labor, but that comes with the territory as you build out your skills. The recipe to printing money as an entrepreneur is combining knowledge, experience, and skills. If you want to see where I talk more about how to find land using my golden triangle method, check out this video right here. And don't forget, this is the last week to sign up and enroll in my 6-week land hacker program that is gonna go live later in August, where you get to work with me in group settings, in classrooms multiple times a week. We have office hours and even expert speakers and one-on-one consultation with me. That is limited, so it's first come, first serve. Go check it out, kaiandrew.com, and join me in the live program. You guys know I love you all. Peace out.
Here with my robe.
Yeah.
This is so
In front of the